With the explosive and heartbreaking ending of No Way Home, the MCU put an end to its major storylines from the Homecoming trilogy while opening up new opportunities for Spidey's future. And as Sony and Marvel Studios are both planning to make more movies with Tom Holland, it's safe to say that the future of Spidey's story is in good hands. Today, we're going to list down the 10 biggest implications for Spider-Man's future in the MCU, starting off with Uncle Ben's role in the MCU at number 10. We think everyone will agree with us if we say that Aunt May's death is one of the saddest parts of Spider-Man No Way Home. It's actually a lot like how Uncle Ben died in the comics and other Spider-Man movies and shows. So this implies that May's character seems to have taken over Ben Parker's role, as her death seems to make Peter grow up and become a more mature hero.
Alarm system deactivated.
And even though Ben's famous line, "with great power comes great responsibility," has finally been said in the MCU, No Way Home has also given fans the closest thing to an Uncle Ben reference so far. This has led many viewers to wonder if the character will show up in a future movie. But since May has died, it's possible that Ben is still alive and well in the MCU. That would be shocking. Next, at number 9, what's next for MJ and Ned in Peter Parker's life? In the last moments of No Way Home, Peter makes the sad decision to make everyone forget about him, including his best friend Ned and girlfriend MJ, and promised his two closest friends,
"I really like how you're a people person."
I love people. I love them so much.
That he would find them on the other side and try to get back together with them. Yeah, good luck with that. But even though Peter seems to change his mind after Doctor Strange's spell takes effect and thinks that Ned and MJ are safer and happier without him, it's inevitable that their paths will cross again in the future. But the question is whether or not they'll ever remember their best times with Peter.
So sorry to keep you waiting.
Can we get Ned a snack, please? Absolutely. He's been waiting here.
I got you.
Followed by Peter's life as a college student at number 8. Okay, there was a major drawback of Doctor Strange's memory spell at the end of No Way Home. You see, after the spell erased everyone's memories of Peter Parker, it also erased the hero's high school records. We can tell this by looking at Peter's new apartment, which shows a new GED workbook. So, it's likely that Peter will go to college in the next Spider-Man movie.
Go get him, Tiger! Or should I say, Spider?
And since Ned and MJ have been accepted to MIT for the next school year, we think Peter Parker's next movie may also take place in Massachusetts. But since Spider-Man is such a big part of New York City, it's more likely that he'll go to a school in the city. Maybe the made-up Empire State University. That's where he went to school in the comics. Not to mention, at number 7, we have Peter Parker's job at the Daily Bugle. Fans were thrilled when J.K. Simmons returned as the evil Daily Bugle publisher, J. Jonah Jameson, in the middle credits scene of Spider-Man Far From Home, reprising his famous role from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. A menace! We also saw him return in No Way Home, and every second of his performance was just brilliant. So now that Jameson is back on the job, it's more likely than ever that he and Holland's Peter Parker will meet. Another thing that points to Pete joining the Daily Bugle is that he's on his own now and needs a job. Also, in other versions of Spider-Man, Peter's job as a freelancer for the Daily Bugle is so important that it's hard to imagine that he and Jameson won't talk in the future of the MCU. But we think nothing would top Jameson beating up Tobey's Peter Parker, though. What's more, at number 6, Peter's growing maturity as Spider-Man. Okay, so the Homecoming movies were mostly about Peter Parker when he was younger and showed the journey of a superhero dealing with daily threats and, well, homework. And because of this, Holland's Parker is shown to be less mature and sometimes cockier than other versions of the character. But No Way Home, on the other hand, put Peter through the ringer. It shook up the character's routine and forced him to grow up in ways that would change him forever. It's safe to say that Tom Holland gave one of the best performances in Spider-Man No Way Home. And he also has the acting skills to develop a more grown-up version of the character, which fans are eager to see now that he's old enough. Now for Spider-Man's secret identity being put back together at number 5. We saw at the end of No Way Home, when all of the Spider-Man characters lose their memories of Peter Parker, and how he became Spider-Man. But since Spider-Man's secret identity is now back, this reset sets up a lot of new storylines for his future in the MCU. Even though the world finding out who Spider-Man was made for a good story, letting the secret out made it much harder to plan future movies in the franchise. And now that things are back to the way they were, it'll be interesting to see how far Peter will go to keep his secret from being told again. Coming up next, at number 4, we have the presence of Oscorp in the MCU. One important part of Spider-Man history that isn't in the MCU is the company Oscorp, which was started by Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. You know, Spider-Man's longest foe, the guy who also showed up in No Way Home. But here's the thing. No Way Home clarified that Oscorp doesn't exist in the MCU, but it didn't say anything similar about the Osborns. And now that Peter has fought a version of Norman Osborn, the stage might be set for an MCU version of the character and his company. We think this might even set up shop in the former Avengers Tower, which is currently being managed in a mysterious way. Also, in the comics, Oscorp is the place where many of Spider-Man's villains were made and created, and some of them could possibly be the main bad guys in future movies.
Like a coffee, please.
Now, let's look at what's next in store for Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery at number 3. We saw Peter fight the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard, some of the top bad guys from other Spider-Man movies in No Way Home. And safe to say, Holland's version of the character has now met more of his classic Marvel Comics bad guys than any other movie version. But there are still a lot of others he has yet to meet on the big screen. In the last battle of the movie, Doctor Strange tries to stop an infinite number of Spider-Man characters from coming. This gives fans a look at some of the bad guys that Spider-Man might face. But even though none of these shadowy people have been confirmed, according to some fans, they saw Kraven the Hunter and a Rhino who looked like he did in the comics. No way. Not to forget, at number 2, we have the classic look of Spider-Man's costume. One of the biggest problems with the MCU version of Spider-Man is that he uses technology too much. And most of the time, this problem shows up in his costume, which all have weapons, computers, and other technology from Stark Industries. Well, the problem is that this technology that the character has often used is only sometimes part of Spider-Man's arsenal. But in the last scene of No Way Home, we get a quick look at Spider-Man's new outfit. And it's beautiful. Peter Parker sewed it himself this time, and it didn't have any of the bells and whistles of his old outfits. And to the delight of fans, the suit also looks like the first Spider-Man suit from the comics. We seriously can't wait for Spidey's future MCU adventures, giving this suit plenty of chances to shine. Lastly, at number 1, Venom is finally in the MCU. When Tom Hardy's Venom showed up in the MCU in the after-credit scene of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, it heavily implied that he and Spider-Man would eventually fight. No Way Home's mid-credit scene showed us Eddie Brock in a bar in Mexico, where the bartender is patiently trying to explain all the superpowered people, alien attacks, etc. But just as Eddie and Venom start to argue again, they're suddenly taken back to their own universe, leaving a little something behind. Sadly, this story was put to rest in No Way Home, which showed that Eddie and the other Spider-Man villains from different universes were sent back to their own universes. But the hopes for a Venom vs. Spider-Man movie weren't completely dashed, as one droplet of the Venom symbiote was left behind on the bar.
My legs. Oh my god, my legs were broken now.
This suggests that it will one day find its way to Peter Parker. So, does this mean that the symbiote hive mind goes beyond the divide between universes? Well, it's only a matter of time before Holland's character meets the alien symbiote for the first time, even if Hardy's version of the character doesn't show up at all. That's all for this video. Are you excited for Spidey's future in the MCU? What's the biggest implication you're waiting to develop for Peter Parker? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.